This conversation is a Thursday evening, which means we're focusing on yet another political party that has come up to invite you to vote for them. And the political party we're talking to and about tonight is the Land Party. They call themselves the Land Party. They're led by Gcobani, Ndzongana. I'm hoping I'm reading that correctly. Good evening to you, sir, and thank you very much for agreeing to talk to us.
Good evening, how are you?
I'm all right, sir. I'm all right. Thank you very much for agreeing to talk to us. Am I pronouncing your name correctly, Ndzongana?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Tell us about this party, the Land Party. First and foremost, is it registered? Does it have the certificate required for it to go and stand for elections?
No, I mean, Land Party, first of all, let me greet all South Africans who are listening. This is a humanistic vanguard of the people of South Africa. It is a revolutionary party, a communist party, and it's got a lot of capabilities. Currently, it is a registered party in the IEC. Yes, we will be contesting all 9 provinces, and we will also contest the national general election. So we do have the strength and everything, the masses, and all resources to contest the upcoming general elections.
So you're saying you do have that certificate here?
No. We do have the certificate. We do have the capacity. We do have all the requirements that any political party require to contest national general elections.
Okay, and you're registered as the Land Party? Or is that the name that you registered under?
Yes,
okay.
We registered as the Land Party, but our abbreviation is the Land. It won't be LP, like many people suggest. It will be the Land.
The Land.
Land.
Oh, Land. Okay.
Yes, those are our abbreviations. Yes.
Okay. All right. And you're going to be contesting the national election, so you'll be one of those 288 parties that have been registered there.
Yes, definitely. We will be contesting national general elections.
All 9 provinces. You are there in all 9 provinces. Is that it?
Yes, the party is existing in all 9 provinces, and it's growing immensely.
Okay. Do tell us, when was this party established?
Look, Naye, there was a time in 2018, if you remember, there is a place called Hermanas where there was a protest for the land grabs and all that stuff, because there was this land, prime land, that belongs to the community that was sold to a private ownership, in dodgy deals. And the community stood up and said, no, they don't want this land to be sold. But the DA municipality and the ANC councillors insisted that the land must be sold to this private ownership, So the community decided to stand up and take back the land by force. And now, after that, the people decided that, no, look, there was no political party that came forward and tried to assist the community. And the community decided, no, they better start a political home, and that was the birth of the Land Party.
Okay. Was that decision based on truth and fact?
Yes. Look, the people, were tortured. We were tortured, by the DA. They were tortured by the ANC. ANC collaborated with the DA in this small town. And, and people felt that, look, they were not going to vote. They would rather abstain, not to vote for any political party. And, so some, views came out amongst the community members that, look, it won't be wise that we don't have a political home. So they gave me this homework that let me try to form this political organization. And that is how the organization was formed. So it is based on fact. Everything that happened, people remained without any political home. They were not assisted by any political organization. Even organizations like SAfm were also invited to assist the community, but they failed to do so.
Yeah.
So because they had their personal agenda or personal problems with the leader of the party. So that is why they never came forward and assisted the community, when they were needed most. So I had to stand up and say, okay, fine, if I'm given this task, let me stand up and form this political organization.
Okay. All right. So can you give us a date of the launch or the official establishment of the party?
The organization was registered on the 14th of December, but our manifesto launch will be on the 16th of March in Zwelihle Community Stadium.
Where is Zwelihle?
Zwelihle in Hermanus. That is
in Hermanus, okay.
Yes, in Hermanus. Yes.
Okay, all right. And how many members do you have right now?
Currently, if I can be honest to you, we are approaching 200,000 membership.
Okay.
But it is quietly going to grow because currently we're just distributing membership forms to other provinces. Particularly Gauteng, Limpopo, Northwest, KwaZulu-Natal, Eastern Cape, and other provinces, or other parts of the country.
Yeah.
So we will be start to check our membership at the end of February. Then we'll start to see what is the total exact number when you're approaching the manifesto launch.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Tell us about yourself. The name Gcobani Ndzongana is not new to us. But I'd like you to tell us.
No. What do you know about Gcobani? Look, I'm just a young man, born in King Williamstown in 1982. There is a place called Timbaza. It was well known about industrial area during the time of the apartheid. I'm the seventh we are 7 children. I'm the last born. I grew up. I came to Hermanus in 1995, and I started to do my primary and finish my studies this side. And currently, I'm working for the Department of Correctional Services.
Okay.
In community corrections. So, I think I've got now 14 years working for the Department of Correctional Services. I'm a community activist and environmental activist. I think you're aware of the case of the nuclear, what you call the green energy group, lobby group that took the government to court regarding they wanted to build nuclear reactors in Cliff, Baystand, and in other areas. I think there were more nuclear reactors that the government wanted to build. And one of the activists was in the forefront to lobby the communities to stop the new nuclear development that was going to be built by the Zuma government. So that is Gcobani. I'm also the former convener of the EFF in the Western Cape, one of the founders of the EFF came, I think the ideology of the EFF, character, a lot of things, the logo of the EFF, the idea of forming the party, everything. So that is Gcobani.
Okay.
That is Gcobani, yes.
All right. Let's talk about your crimen injuria case.
Yes.
Tell us more about that.
No, look, Naye, there was absolutely nothing, if I can be honest to you. There was this particular person, she's got a, personal problem with me, in particularly with my family. She lied and said I call her a snake on Facebook. Then she went and opened a case against me. In fact, she's the person who broke my mother's finger. She assaulted my mother. And then after that, she insulted on Facebook. But I exposed her on Facebook that, she's a counselor. But, she does not have manners. How can she attack a pensioner, and all that stuff. So after that, she went and opened a case against me. That's how I got that case, So, but, in South Africa, anyone can wake up and open a case against you now. You can't say no and all that stuff. And the state will continue with all procedures until they found you not guilty.
Yeah. But to be honest and for fairness, that case was withdrawn. Can you tell us why?
Yes, it was withdrawn. Look, there was no case now yet. There was no case. Hence I'm saying that, everything that is happening in this community, is thrown to me. Even, I think there was a case of that I'm inciting violence in Hermanus, I brought down the fence, that is currently happening, Even in that case, the star witness, even testified in court that Gcobani was talking to me, was not involved, but they went on and opened criminal charges against me, saying Gcobani, I've incited the community and all that stuff. So, hence I'm saying, anything that's happening in this community, because I'm a community leader, I mean, it's thrown to me. I mean, I have to stand for it and all the stuff. But those are the consequences of leading the people, you understand?
All right.
So anything that is happening, it comes to me.
All right. So August last year, we were told that this matter, the criminal matter, had been withdrawn, even though there had been other matters or another matter that you had to be kept in custody for. What matter is that?
Yeah, it was. They said I've incited violence.
That's the matter you were.
Yes,
okay.
That was incited violence.
What was the outcome?
The case is still going on. I'm waiting for the outcome on the 7th of March. So the 26th and the 27th, the case is proceeding in Stellenbosch Court. Remember, they took the case away from Hermanus because they said Hermanus is my comfort zone, and they took the case to Stellenbosch. So the case is politically motivated. But even in court, it already came out that the case was politically motivated because the head of public police in Hermanus, who was the star witness, also said when he was asked who opened the case against me, he said he was unaware. He does not know why I was arrested. He does not know, So that's why I'm just waiting just for the procedures to be followed so that the case also can be thrown out of the court.
Okay, so can we safely say that you are one of these politicians who are active in politics but still are facing the might of the law? Would that be a correct characterization?
Yeah. That will be fair. That will be fair, Nae. Okay. That will be fair, but mine is different. Those are not charges of corruption. Those are not charges, criminal charges, for other stuff. Those are charges that, because I'm standing for my community. And, I'm prepared to die. I'm prepared to die for my community. I'm prepared to do anything. I'm prepared to spend my life in jail for my community.
Yeah.
I will never allow what is currently happening in Hermanus is exactly what is happening to the people of Palestine. Any piece of land, come to Western Cape, any piece of land in the Western Cape is taken out, by these racists in this province. There is absolutely, they don't want any growth of the black communities and colored communities. Any special piece of land, blacks cannot stay next to the land, and coloreds, they must stay in land. Only whites need to stay close to the sea. That is totally nonsense. It cannot happen now.
Go on.
I'm prepared for that. I'm prepared. So definitely don't compare with Zuma and others. That is totally
not yet. I had not yet. Before we move on to the next part of our conversation, there's also an allegation that you attacked a police officer during an unrest in Zwelile. Is that true?
No, that is the wrong information. Look, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I never participated in any violent activity in my life. I never. Even the current protest that went on, violent in Hermanus, it was during my absence. Remember, the community stood up, and decided to fight when I was arrested. There was peace in the community until I was arrested. Then the community went into mayhem. You understand?
Okay.
So when I'm there, there's absolutely no violence. Yeah. There was not even a cat or a mice that was killed during my presence. So that is untrue. Okay. That's untrue.
All right. I'm glad you're here to state that. I want to open the lines for you in case there's somebody who would like to join in the conversation. 0891 104 207, 0891 104 207. We're speaking to Land Party Chief Leader Gcobani Ndzongana, talking to us about his backstory and the backstory of the political party. There's not much of a backstory for the political party because it was registered in December 2018. So we get to know a few things about the political party and what they stand for. Looking forward to their manifesto launch to see what they stand for in actual fact. So let's get to it, Gcobani. When we speak of the Land Party, it seems as though it's cut and dry, all about land and nothing else. Would that be a fair assessment of who the political party is about?
No, that is totally wrong information.
Okay.
The Land Party, in fact, it's in accordance with overall demands of democracy. It is based on land. It is based on land and economic reform. Particularly, that is why we're saying South Africa needs to reform and open up. Meaning that our first priority is that the economy of the country must be the pillar of the country. Also, the stability and sovereignty of the country is paramount. So those are the key issues of the organization. If you notice, South Africa currently is in disaster. You've got Cyril Ramaphosa, fine, quite, he's a good gentleman, he's a good character. But in reality, he's in a wrong organization. The ANC will never take this country forward. The ANC, the economy of this country will never boom. The unemployment will continue, increasing. The poor will continue suffering as long as the ANC is in power. Because within the ANC, there are two camps in the ANC. There is the corrupt camp, and there are those who want to hold in the traditions of the ANC. So the ANC will always suffer because the dominant section is the corrupt section. That is why even now Ramaphosa cannot do anything. So if people think ANC will solve the problems in this country, I'm telling you, they are just wasting the time, and in fact, waiting for more disaster to come.
Okay.
So the Land Party, in fact, is based on that the country, we must improve the living standards of the people and ensure the fruits of development of a greater and more equitable benefits for the people, and help people gain increasingly strong sense of fulfillment. Strive to see that all people realize their potential, find proper place in society, and live together in harmony. That is what we stand for. That is what we stand for.
You are quoted to have said you are drawing some lessons from China. What lessons would those be?
Come again?
What lessons would those be? What lessons are you drawing from China?
Look, when our people, were being brutally attacked by the police, in Hermanas, we had to sit down and look strategies. And one of the strategies that worked successfully for us, it was one of the Mao Zedong strategy, and how it defeated the Japanese and the British colonizers in China. So we applied that strategy, and it worked very well. And we end up, defeating, the authorities and all that stuff. So, but the most important thing that we want to draw from China is their economic reforms, how they manage, to run China as a communist state, but at the end of the day, manage to make sure that they bring forth, a balanced economic strategy and policies, so that all people of China can benefit. So something that is totally unique and different from Venezuela, Cuba, and other communist countries. So this is the South Africa that we envisage. We say we want South Africa that will be global economic power. We want South Africa that will be global power. We're talking about security. We're talking about, cyberspace and everything, So that is what we're talking about. So that is why China, we draw lessons from China, because China currently is the only communist country, that is successful and doing well. So we are saying to the people of South Africa, give us a chance, give the Land Party a chance. You will see that South Africa will be amongst the top 5 best economic countries, because we are the richest country in the world. We've got all resources. We are more than rich than China. But as I'm talking to you now, because of poor policies and the poor government and instability of our country, South Africa continue suffering, because of the poor economy and all that stuff.
So what exactly are you saying? You're going to import from China communism?
Look, not only communism. You look the implementation strategies of Chinese, and how they uplift their people, particularly the poor, and how they bring investors in China. For instance, I'll make a clear example. We are saying that the Land Party, there is an Apple here. You talk about Apple as Apple for the iPhone. You say, come Apple, we give you a piece of land. We give you free electricity. We give you free water. We say, come with your work. We come with your everything. But 90% of your workforce must be South Africans, so that the Apple as a company must be able to transfer skills to the South African people. You understand what I'm saying? And what we are saying now, look, currently the big businesses, and investors, they are paying heavy tax, in the government. But where's that tax going? It goes to the politicians. It goes to the government. People are looting. That is why you've got this thing of Posasa today. Because, for instance, you will find politicians who will make sure that he or she bring a certain investor in the country. And at the end of the day, he receives some kickbacks. But at the end of the day, the people of South Africa are not going to benefit. It's only the political elite that are going to benefit. Now we are saying that the company must pay directly the people. You understand? Give people a good salaries so that people can be able to sustain themselves, so that people cannot be beggars.
But China is known not to do that. China is infamous for not doing that, paying people well. Quite frankly, their labor relations are abysmal.
You're correct, Nai. You're correct, Nai. That is why we are saying we are going to build South Africa in South Africa's communist context. We will contextualize in our own way. That is what we are saying. We are further saying in our own culture and in our own characteristics. That is what we are saying.
Right.
Which means we can't take everything that Chinese do.
Yeah.
For instance, we know that Chinese exploit workers. You understand? But we're not going to do that. That is why, in fact, we even support the Socialist Revolutionary Party, because we're saying our workers, they must belong to the Socialist Revolutionary Party. But what we are going to say, we can't allow the current status quo to continue, that you've got labor union and federations like COSATU that existing, but who continue exploit workers in the expense of labor unions. You understand?
Okay.
Because currently what is happening, you've got COSATU, but the truth of the matter, the workers are suffering. So we are saying better we must have an alliance with the Workers' Party, not with labor unions or federations.
Before I go to the calls, I want to ask you one more question. You are quoted to have said Cyril Ramaphosa is useless. Is that quote correct? Did you say that?
Yes. Look, what I'm trying to say, Nai, maybe the word is too harsh. Ramaphosa can be good. But the truth of the matter, Ramaphosa can't do anything as long as he's still in the ANC. He will never exercise his powers as long as he's in the ANC. He will never implement progressive policies as long as he's still in the ANC, because the ANC is fighting on itself. You understand? It is dog in the ANC. So that makes the Ramaphosa, useless. You won't have any impact. That is why even now people start panicking and saying, where is this Ramaphosa? Where is this Tumamina? Because at the end of the day, the man cannot discharge his power. The man cannot do his job because he's held hostage by certain camps within the ANC. Look what is happening. You've got Zuma, who's rebelling against the party. You've got Zuma and many others like Mani, who just form new parties and all that stuff. Trying by all means to see the man going down. So I'm saying, Nai, it is useless. Ramaphosa will never bring hope in South Africa. ANC will never bring hope in South Africa because there is a lot of instability within the ANC. You can bring Obama if you think he's the best president for the ANC to lead the ANC. But I'm telling you, with the ANC, South Africa will continue to suffer. In fact, we are going for civil war because the rich becoming more poor, the rich becoming rich, and the poor become more poor, and the poor becoming frustrated now, and now they want to fight. And that is what is happening. And the rich now are starting to prepare themselves. As I'm talking to you now, the right-wingers are training their children. You've got a place in Grabo every weekend. The AfriForum and other right-wing groups are training and shooting every time. In Omson, 1,500 young white men and women were found by SAMDF, with conventional weapons, very dangerous weapons now, that you and me, you cannot possess those weapons. And did you ever saw that on headlines? You never saw it. Because why? It's an embarrassment to the state, whereas our intelligence is dysfunctional. So I'm saying now, currently, the country is going to drain with the ANC. And until our people need to wake up, we are going for a disaster.
Okay. Let's go to the lines for you, sir. 0891 104 207, 0891 104 207. We're in conversation with Gcobani Ndzongana, who is the chief leader of the Land Party, and this is one of the new political parties in our political list of parties. Looking forward to seeing how they're going to perform in the May elections. That is, if the president will declare and announce May to be the actual month and date of elections. Let's go to Mpumelelo. Mpumelelo is in Mpumalanga. Good evening, Mpumelelo.
Good evening, Gcobani.
Good evening, Bomi.
Now I'd just like to maybe speak to Gcobani. How are you, General?
Hey, I'm fine, my brother, man. I'm fine. Long time, man. You know, I'm just missing you, Mpumelelo.
Long time, and congratulations on the formation of your party.
Thanks, my brother.
And
thanks, my brother.
I wish you well in this journey. It's not an easy one, and it requires a lot of stamina.
Yes.
I want to touch on the issue of Chinese communism.
Yes, sir.
I think you have brought something very fresh in the political landscape of the country by employing outlook that says you want to treat the Chinese outlook of communism. Because I've often argued against these isms that I say were written by white people. That being said, Chinese communism is an alternative side of the story where the rhetoric of communism having been a failed ideology. The version of Chinese communism, as you see it today, is successful. And I think we can draw lessons from it, although I still believe strongly that as black people, we need to define our own ideology in order to reach our own self-determination. But I wanted to go into, because we've been in this struggle for a long time, my brother. Started in 2010, 2009 already, we started propagating the issue of economic freedom. Through the expropriation of
Mpumelelo, our guest is Gcobani. We want to hear him speak more than you. I need you to make your point if you have a point to make or ask the question.
Yes, I was just throwing the backdrop now so that other listeners can also understand the character of the person we are talking to. So it has come, and I think it has been propagated by this generation very successfully onto the political field, the issue that the land must be taken and it must be given to the rightful owner. And I think you have a task today of now moving further beyond that debate, because that one is one for me ideologically. We have won it in the heart of the people. The people want the land. But now, what are we going to do with the land? I think that is the question you need to answer for you to be able to draw the space that you need to attract the people in order to enter electoral politics. But thank you very much for your time, Nai.
Appreciate your call there.
Thanks, my brother.
Evidently they know each other. Let's go to Wanda in Hermanus. Good evening, Wanda.
Good evening, how are you?
Well, thank you, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Yes, I just want to say to Brother Gcobani, congratulations for your party. I just want to ask you also, I want to ask you also, because during the protest, there was job losses to many people there. I just want to know what plans do you have for those people who lost their jobs?
Okay. Wanda, you know, the issue of the people that lost jobs in Hermanus, we know it's a racial matter. It is because, like, we know that the right-wingers, you know, and the capitalists responded with anger and decided to frustrate particularly the black people in that particular area so that they can lose jobs. So it was a response strategy, you know, to target, you know, those who protested against the system, who exposed the poor government. So you can't control. That is why we say, you know, the Land Party encourage our community that we must start with co-ops. We start to make, you know, our vegetable gardens, start with farming and all that stuff, you know, because we must not rely from people that, you know, we're waging the struggle against them with food and all that stuff, you know, because remember there is a saying that says those who feed you, You know, you can't fight those who feed you. You can't fight the hand that feeds you. So the issue of the people that lost jobs in Hermanas, you know, it's one of the racial issues, and we don't have any control over it. But one thing that we are busy with, we are assisting those people through CCMA currently. We've got Vanessa Swanapio who's dealing with that department currently. As I'm talking to you, that she's busy, you know, and other legal experts when in labor relation matters to assist those kind of families, because the issue is that the people were being intimidated because they participated in the struggle, you know, into taking back the community land.
All right, I'm hoping you're answered there, Wanda.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right, General Mbake in Limpopo, I can see you. Just hold the line there. We'll take a break and come back, and you'll get your shot at it.
Hello, how are you?
Well, thank you, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Chief Leader Kowan, how are you?
I'm fine, General. I'm fine, my brother. How are you?
I'm good. You know, I'm from Limpopo, Rasikukule, the Parani.
Cool, my brother.
Yeah, I'm calling just to support this organization, Land Party, you know?
Good, my brother. Thanks.
Because we are having problems, and unemployment is huge in our province.
Yes,
we have some mines and some pieces of land, but are not useful for poor people in this province.
Yeah.
So we like Land Party to continue this struggle for land. We support it. We want our mines, we want our land to be owned by the poor people, so that we can be economically liberated.
Yes. No, I hear you, my brother. Look, I hear you.
Yeah, so I'm just calling for supporting this Land Party. My vote is going for land.
Okay, thanks, my brother.
All right.
Naya, thank you, Naya, for
Thank you very much, General. Appreciate your call.
Salute.
All right, let's go to Zion. Zion is in King Williamstown. Good evening, Zion.
Hello, Naya.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
I can, sir. Go ahead.
I would like to speak to this young man from Timbaza.
Yes, he's listening. Go ahead.
What's your name again, young man?
Gcobani, my brother.
Gcobani, Ruben Mateo, Kingsburg.
Okay, Ruben.
I'm sure eTimbaza ndazwa kakhulu. Ngaqala eTimbaza ngo-1971. Ongekazalwa wena.
Ngiyakazalwa ke naxesha.
Ruben Mateo, Gcobani. When I started radio, he was there already. Yeah,
Cops, man, I'm happy to hear what you are saying. I would like your idea, your views, your perception about these people that call themselves political analysts.
Yes.
Because what you have just said is that there are bandits, white bandits, that are being trained around Hermanas, who are training their children for war. I said it to one so-called political analyst on Mukrobo and the radio, and asked his view about that. And he dismissed it and said, no, there's nothing about that. It can never happen in South Africa, blah, blah, blah. What's your view about these political analysts? Because when they talk, saying they are analyzing politics, I analyze them. Instead of listening to what their analysis, I analyze them and have my views about each one of them who comes on radio telling us that is analyzing politics. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate your call. Go ahead.
Yeah, look, Naya, first let me respond to Umpake. Umpake raised a very important thing, you know. I think, in fact, I think it was Mpumelelo about how are we going to contextualize this communism look in South Africa's context. You know, we are saying we are leading the cause of socialism. The land party of South Africa must be committed to economic development as the central task, and all other work must take an insular role to serve the center. So what are we trying to say there, Naye? The economy is an integral part of this organization. We prioritize economy. That is why we formed this party, because we can see that our country is going down, is collapsing. Coming to Ruben about the issue of our political analyst. You know, it's not only our political analyst line. Our people, particularly Africans, are ignorant. It's a truth of the matter. The people, if they get salary, they just relax. You know, they don't care about anything. They don't care about the country. Let me tell you one thing, you know, the white people particularly, they care about this country more than us as Africans. That is the sad part. That is the sad part of this. Now, you will find that most of these people who call themselves scholars, these political analysts, they are just there to make money. They don't know anything. They are clueless about what is happening on the ground. These people do not live, you know, in the real world. You know, it's just people who are living in a certain type of bubble, you know, that can blast anytime and they will remain. That is why even their judgment and prediction are always incorrect. You know, the issue of this, it's not only them, Ruben. Now, I'm sure even you, many South Africans do not know that the right wings in South Africa, there is a rebel group in South Africa that is preparing for a civil war. South Africa can be overthrown. The coup can happen even tomorrow. And you're unaware of that now. 95% those people are on the state of readiness. Yeah. And I'm telling you now, none of us, our people don't care. Because our people, they care about alcohol, they care about sex, they care about things that do not matter. They don't care about things that are very important in their lives. For instance, the issue of safety and security. Currently, these people are busy training. There are certain camps in different provinces, like in the Free State, in the Western Cape, in Limpopo. Those are 3 provinces that I know that they've got training camps and they are working. These people got a storage that they've got food that can last them for 2 years. If anything can happen in this country, and you ask me and you and I as Africans, what do we have? We've got absolutely nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So it is there. These people are ignorant. Our political analysts, you know, frankly speaking, I don't take them serious. They are just there to make money. They know nothing. They are clueless. They don't know about any political dynamics in our country. Some of them, they want to sound like favorable so that they can be favored by certain political parties, so that they can be in the payrolls of other political parties. That is the sad part of it, you know, now. Right. So the issue of rebels in South Africa is there. That is why, Naya, there was a delegation that went around the world, provoking when there was the issue of amending the constitution regarding to the issue of land. There was a delegation that came from the SAfm that went to mobilize around the world. All right-wingers. And the right-wingers around the world, they found a good base in South Africa. That is why currently in South Africa, you've got a lot of Ukrainians, you know, who are anti-communist, who are anti-socialism. They are pure right-wingers. They are anti-liberals. And those are the one who killed even Christian. Janus Wallace was one of them. But I'm telling you, currently we've got a lot of them that seek refuge in South Africa. And our government is not doing absolutely nothing. You know, right. Anyone, you can be assassinated by these people and no one can know who assassinated you. So this matter is serious. The special forces of Israel are training our people in South Africa. You understand?
All right. Hold it right there. Hold it right there. I want to take some more calls for you, just 2 more calls, and then we're going to conclude our conversation. Let's go to Tsepo. Tsepo is in Midrand. Good evening, Tsepo. Tsepo?
Yes, how are you?
Well, thank you, sir. Go ahead.
I'm good. Chief Leader, my brother, I've got a question for you here. 3 questions for you here.
Just make one question. Just pick one of those 3. Just one question, simple.
Okay. What I want to know is, in South Africa, we've got a problem of, employment, especially for the up and coming graduates who are sitting in doing nothing. What are you planning to do if you were to become the president? What are you planning to do on that one? And secondly, in South Africa, we've got a problem with the security. You know, if you look at South Africa, security is very low. If you look at criminals, are more equipped than our police. They are more equipped and they've got resources. And our police, education, they've got no education. Our police, they take a matric, they take a police officer with a matric, train him, and place him as a police officer. And these criminals, most of them, they are the ex-soldiers. Some of them, they are very much educated. And what are you planning to do with those kind of things to stop crime in South Africa? Because really, the people of South Africa are not safe. Can you please answer me on that?
All right. Thank you very much, Tsepo.
Okay.
Hold on. I want to take one more call because I promised to take this to. Let's go to Worcester. Ayanda is in Worcester. Good evening, Ayanda.
Good evening. How are you?
Well, thank you, Ayanda. How are you?
It's Ayanda calling. Hi to you and hi to the listeners in this evening. I've listened to the chief leader of Land Party. We found some very interesting things, particularly about security in South Africa and those base camps of the right-wingers. I would like to directly ask him is there anything that would love, or I would like him to answer that there's something that we can do, or is this our government now is governing South Africa is so weak, or is there anything that the Land Party can do to make changes on that?
On what exactly, Ayanda?
On as he mentioned that this right-wingers base camp, they are training their children, and there's a civil war in future, it might come and out of hand. So what is the plan, or how to distract that, or how to stop that as a South African, particularly as citizens?
How do we stop people from training their children?
No, I'm asking how to stop and prevent that as the government or the Land Party.
Prevent what, Ayanda? People training their children?
To prevent their children on the base camps, those camps he spoke about, that the right-wingers or the capitalists, they are training their children.
What is illegal about training your children, Ayanda?
But shooting now, that's interesting to me, because as a Land Party, he arised something that was never been shown on TV or talked about in media.
What is illegal about that? Because our country gives you the right to buy a weapon and go and train how to shoot that weapon.
They have the permit.
Actually, our country gives us laws that give people permits and licenses to carry a weapon, to have a weapon. There are those.
Yes. But if you understand my question, is that illegal in the institution of South Africa, that now he's raising that for our safety?
All right. Let's go to Stephen and find out what's happening with the nightlight. We'll have our guests respond to these two callers. Stephen.
Well, I actually want to contribute here because I read a very interesting article published on the 29th, day before yesterday, on Daily Maverick about the global alt-right, which is exploiting South Africa's divisions in history. Yeah. And it really talks to what we're hearing here. I just can recommend it as, quite scary. It scared me, and it echoes what we're hearing here. Nightlight is much lighter stuff. It's music. Yeah. Some of that you choose, and of course we're wrapping up the movie thing, doing a bit of sport and a bit of night and news. But read that story. I think it's interesting.
Got it. There was, this is the first story, by the way, that the Daily Maverick has issued. There have been many stories in 2017 and 2018, not verified nonetheless. Let's go to our guest. Go on. You've got two callers. Would you like to respond to them?
Yes. Now, let me start with the first one. I think he was talking about the issue of crime. Mm-hmm. How are we going to deal with crime? The first thing that we want to do now when we come to power is to amend the constitution. We have to change our constitution so that we we must have a referendum for the death penalty and execution, because when we're talking about, there is a lot of femicide crime against women. You know, the rape in South Africa is like a culture. The murder of innocent people is like to take someone's life is cheap in this country, so that needs to be stopped. And you know, those are the things that we first need to do. We have to amend the constitution so that we must have a death penalty in this country. Although that we must know that we must have a very thorough and partial judicial system that is not going to be biased, that will be deal with some certain particularities, but we have to deal with such crime harshly. We can't just allow it to just continue as it is. So talking about the issue of the employment, look, there are a lot of graduates that are not working in this country. What are we saying is that if you've got people who coming into your country, you've got a lot of businesses, you expand. Hence, I've made earlier an example that you bring them in. The police they must go to the police force. Expand your army. Let's have a big army. Army there is providing all necessary skills. You know, that will be reducing the what you call the unemployment in this country. Talking about crimes.
So our time is up. We need to end our conversation on that very note. But we appreciate you coming through and talking to us, and all the best for the elections.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Nayeta.
All right.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks to the listeners.
All right. Gcobani Ndzongana is the chief leader of the Land Party, and they are standing for the elections for 2019. All the best to them. From me, Nayelo Pondona, and the team, have a wonderful evening and Godspeed.